morning, everybody. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Hold on 1 second. Oh my God. What a good looking group of amazing human beings. Thanks for being with us today. I hope your day's going good. We're going to be talking about some shit today. I have to be honest with you guys, for all of you who are watching, this is, and I don't ever want to do clickbaity shit. I'm doing the opposite of clickbaity shit. We're definitely going to be talking about the dude who just got sentenced for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump on that golf course out in the state of Florida. Sorry, my bad. But after that, we're going to be talking about a lot more stuff that YouTube, if I were to put it on the thumbnail, if I were to put it in the title, YouTube would definitely not push it. I'm trying this to see if we can get this out to people. If I don't actually announce what I want to really be talking about, because YouTube, I'm just going to let you guys know, they're absolutely suppressing my content right now because I've pushed the limits multiple times trying to talk about stuff that we found in certain files. And they don't seem to want to let any of that stuff get out for some reason. So I'm trying to be sneaky, like my dude Valhalla, when he starts to talk about a certain nation, he has people spam the chat with that nation's flag. So they think that it's pro that nation, but it's really not pro that nation. I'm trying to be sneaky about this. I mean, for God's sake, I'm an ex-criminal. I should be able to find a way around tricking an algorithm a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But we do want to get into this because I'm going to be really honest with you. This is a really important story too. So if you guys remember, this deranged lunatic, this weird leftist activist, Ryan Ruth, he went out in Florida, down out in St. Lucie County. I'm very well acquainted with St. Lucie County, Florida. In fact, I'm very well acquainted with the Secret Service out there in St. Lucie County, Florida. They're actually the ones who wrapped me up in 2019 in a hotel parking lot because I was involved in organized fraud, and what got them there, the Secret Service, was the counterfeiting. See, the Secret Service are the ones that cover counterfeiting. Anytime you're messing with, the government can print money. Turns out JD is not allowed to do that. JD's definitely not allowed to do that. So it's the Secret Service that comes out. We got people from St. Lucie in the chat. That's exactly where I got busted. St. Lucie County. They did actually a crazy little news brief about me back in the day there. It was kind of disturbing. A whole lot happened. Worked out for the best in the end. I'm going to tell you this right now. When I say that I'm very well acquainted with the Secret Service because they busted me, they put me on my face. It was the St. Lucie County Police and the SWAT team there and the Secret Service. I am grateful to them. I would not have the life that I have today had they not taken me out of the retarded shit that I was doing. It was honestly more of a rescue mission at that point. My life was garbage. I had a lot of money. I had a lot of hustle. I had, whatever I wanted to put in my pipe and smoke. I had it, I was dead inside. I was absolutely dead inside. I was a slave to substances that had overcome my life, destroyed my spirit, completely cut me off from myself and my connection with God. It was terrible. They actually, that day, they saved my life. When I bring them up, I don't want to bring them up in a negative context. I know it might not have been their full-on intention, but they did a whole lot for me that day, and I was super stoked. So let's go and take a look at what's going on with Ryan Ruth, though, because I don't think they saved his life in this situation. He's going to be going to Florida prison. We're going to take a look at this. We're going to look at what he got sentenced to, and then we're going to take an objective look at how I think he's going to do in Florida prisons for trying to assassinate not then president, but he was ex-President Trump. Now he's president again. Let's take a gander.
Ryan Ruth sentenced to life in prison over the Trump assassination attempt. Dana Marie McNichol is live for us outside the courtroom in Fort Pierce, Florida, with the latest. Dana Marie.
Hi, Harris. Just seconds ago, we watched Ryan Ruth leave the courthouse right behind us. As we know, life in prison plus 84 months. Now, the 84 months are tied to the counts that did not include a life sentence. Now, for a little bit of color, Ryan Ruth, he addressed federal judge Eileen Cannon one last time, but it really didn't seem to sway her. We heard a lot of the same arguments he presented during his trial, where he acted as his own attorney. He said that his goal was to stand up for his country, that he had good intentions. Of course, Judge Eileen Cannon responded from the bench saying, quote, "You intended to kill and you would have achieved your goal without the brave Secret Service agent Furcano. It was clear this was premeditated and a calculated plot to take a human life." She then went on to mention that he did it with precision and intent to kill. She says, "You are not a peaceful man. You are not a good man." Now, remember, the last time we did see him was for the verdict in the courtroom, and it was absolutely chaotic. Right after he learned that he was guilty, he tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen.
Do you guys remember that? This dude literally, when the jury came back in and they're like, "We find you guilty of all counts," this dude took a pen. He took a pen off of the counter, off the desk, and tried to yak himself in the neck, tried to give himself extra breathing holes and check out. His kids were front row, dog. His kids had to watch their dad try to yak himself with a bic, homie, with a big pen. He was trying to, that's crazy. That's why when you're in prison, they give you these pens and they're like really thin and they're flexible. So you know how you can get a good grip on a good pen, you know? These things, they bend so that you can't stab somebody in the neck with them. Anybody who's ever been to jail or prison probably knows you either get a pencil this long so that you can't actually stab somebody, or you get a pen that's all bendy. Irish Bomb Squad, you remember those pens, homie? I bet you do, man. Those things sucked, bro. Those things sucked. At OSP, I think they actually started selling us ones that weren't bendy. And then I think they took them away again, man. Kind of crazy. So that's what this dude did in front of his own kids when he found out that he was found guilty.
So today he was surrounded by 4 federal U.S. Marshals. He was also shackled at the waist. His wrist was shackled at that waist. So that's really what we saw inside that courtroom. According to the producers inside the courtroom, as he was leaving, he blew a kiss and winked at the gallery. So that was pretty interesting. We did notice that all of his family members were missing. We just heard from his attorney that said that they do plan to file an appeal. And that's pretty much the latest out of the courtroom here in Fort Pierce. The 2.5-week trial we covered last fall. There was a lot of theatrics involved, but this is the end. Life in prison plus 84 months.
Dana Marie McNichol, great reporting today. Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
I highly doubt that he's going to have any real action when it comes to appeal. I think that he's cooked out. I think he knows he's cooked out. When you do go to appeals, you might get like a little time taken off, but he's getting that life in prison, dog. He's getting that life in prison. Irish Bomb Squad said JD Earl climbed up the side of Brick and down the other, trying to stab him in the neck. Broke the pen because he hit him so hard. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, no. So, like, this dude is definitely going to prison. He's definitely going to prison. And I don't think he's going to get off this life. So here's the thing. Let's talk about how is this dude going to do in Florida prisons. I'm here to tell you right now, most people in Florida are conservative, and most people locked up in Florida are absolutely conservatives. Yo, hold on. This is amazing, bro. Hold on. Yo, Mercenary, thank you so much, bro. Huge love and respect. Yo, JD, love that you and yours are doing good and staying safe. I wanted to give my boy, It's the Dawn, a shout out for he's 7 years of sobriety. Dude, It's the Dawn has 7 years of sobriety. First off, Mercenary, thank you for that huge support. Big love to you. It's the Dawn. Check this out, homie. 7 years. I'm almost at 7 years. You got me beat, dog. Incredible work. I know how difficult that is. But look, man, 7 years is really important to me. That's my big milestone that I've been wanting to do the whole time. Excuse me. Because 7 years, there is, and I don't know how true this is. I don't even want to look it up because I don't want to be proven wrong because it means a lot to me. But what I've heard, the idea behind Christians saying you could be a born again virgin if you don't clap cheeks or get your cheeks clapped in 7 years is that every 7 years, every cell in the human body regenerates. So after 7 years, it's like you have a body that's never clapped or been clapped. And I want that with putting substances into my body. I want to be able to say that I have a body now that's never put no methamphetamines up in it or any alcohol up in it. You know what I'm saying? So 7 years is absolutely incredible. It's the dawn. Mercenary, thank you for that huge support. Big love and respect to both of you. And what an amazing friend to drop a big super to get his homie the shout out he absolutely deserves on that 7 years. So most of the people in Florida, conservative. An even higher amount of the people in Florida prisons, especially in the white boy circle. So you have to understand the people that are probably going to regulate on Ryan Ruth, the dude here. Let's see if we can get this dude's picture back up here. I want to show you the dude that we're talking about here. So look, this dude right here that's on screen, we're going to get him back on screen and get him a little bigger. That dude right there, that dude is not going to do good in Florida prison. And the fact that he tried to take out Donald Trump, it's going to be even worse for him because I'm going to tell you right now, most of those white dudes in Florida prison are on what they call the Trump train. You used to hear it all the time in Florida, bro. So they're going to want to tear this dude's ass up. He's not going to do good. It's going to be bad for him. I don't see him making it for a life sentence. He's going to get beat down. He's going to get, I don't know, bro. They fucking a lot in Florida prison. You know, when I talk about West Coast prisons, I'm like, yeah, he's smiling in the mugshot. He was real proud of what he tried to do. He thought he was going to be a hero. This dude was so indoctrinated, you guys. This dude was so wildly indoctrinated. It's so crazy how much this dude thought that he was going to be a hero and that people were going to like salute what he did. And like in the end, he accomplished absolutely nothing, bro. He accomplished absolutely nothing. I actually am going to, let me try to bring this up on screen really quick because this is classic. You guys are going to love this. I want to show you this dude and how violently retarded this dude is. This is the dude who thought he was going to be an all-American hero for what he was doing. And yeah, bro, I mean, come on. Really? Really? There we go. Put him on screen. So this dude right here, you see this guy? They thought this dude thought he was going to be an American hero for this. Like, look at him with the American flag get up and the blue and yellow for Ukraine. This dude went over and like sauced for Ukraine really hard. And then came back here and tried to assassinate a dude who was running for president. Now, here's the thing. If they had tried to assassinate Kamala Harris, I'd be pissed. They are trying to assassinate Donald Trump pisses me off. It doesn't matter which side it is. We, the people in the United States of America, have a right to democratically vote for who is going to be our leader. And if anyone tries to take out the person for either side, that's trying to steal that process of democracy from us. It doesn't matter what side. You're fucking with what America was built and founded upon. We have a constitutional right to be able to vote for who we want to be our leader. And anytime there's an assassination attempt, I want you to know, dead ass, I don't care who it is, I am adamantly against that because that is somebody who the majority of the country voted in. I wouldn't have supported it for Biden, Kamala, Trump. I wouldn't have supported it for Obama, any of the Bushes. I thought it was gross when I was a kid and I was growing up and they tried to kill Reagan. Dudes, drones, Irish. I only support positivity. You're my dude, JD. One love. Huge love to you, bro. Love you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, dudes, drones. I'm stoked, man. We got good people up in the chat today. So yeah, this shit is bullshit. It's these people that do this type of shit suck. And for them to think they're going to be remembered as some sort of a hero, you're going to be remembered as a lame, bro. You're going to be remembered as a lame. You're going to be remembered as a lop. Nobody's going to fucking like you. Nobody likes you now. No one should like you. You're a weird bitch, bro. This is weird bitch behavior and it shouldn't be done. Johnny, what's up, man? What up, JD? How you doing, brother? Hey, I wanted to start a podcast. I want to help prisoners. I've been for 8 years. Can you give me any advice? My cellmate saved my life when I stopped breathing 3 times. Homie, did your cellie help you with an OD? I'm assuming maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was a medical condition. If you want to do a podcast to help prisoners, bro, your life experience that you have getting out, staying out for 8 years, being the man that you are today, you know that when people get out of prison, there's not a lot of guidance for them. And it's really easy to just flail off into space. So sharing how you've been successful would be the best way. And I'm so proud of you, brother. Hey, what is up, sis? It's good to see you, Khadija. Love you, sis. Grumpy Knuckles up in this bitch, man. Shout out from the 60s, JD. We rocking with you, and I'm rocking with you, man. Good to see you here today. My brother. For those of you who don't know, if y'all saw that video out in Portland, when all of Antifa was swarming and the whistles and all that gay ass shit that they be doing, Grumpy Knuckles was the dude who came up. He came down there specifically just to support and to meet me and to give love, bro. And I needed that in that moment, bro, because that shit was just a sea of fucking retards. And it was so refreshing to meet him and Black Rebel out there, bro. Good ass dudes, man. Solid human beings. M. Vals, SG Stern, one love, brother. One love to you, my man. One love to you. So look, we didn't get as far as I was hoping with talking about this to feel really safe going into what I really, really want to get into. But I have a couple other things queued up that I think are going to be really wildly entertaining to talk about. So we're going to jump into something else here real quick. Have you guys seen what's going on with Billie Eilish?
Americans are calling Hollywood elitist.
So look, I watched a little bit of this video just to check if this dude's temperature was tight. And I think this dude's pretty legit. But I've never seen this dude before. So what we're going to do is we're going to peep a little bit of this dude's game, right? And then we're going to go back. We're going to decide if we should all sub to this dude. I think that from what I can see, I think this dude is probably pretty legit. Yo, what's up, sis? Hey, JD, can I call you big bro? Absolutely, please do. Please do, sister. Please do. I just got on live and answered the question yes, because I didn't know what's going on. Now I want to switch my answer to no. Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. So here's the thing with this. What I wanted to do with this poll was I wanted to ask before we knew what he's facing, and then I wanted to ask again. So we're going to do this poll again. Now that you guys know, it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky because most of you probably didn't know what he's sentenced to. Life plus 89 months is crazy, dog. That's crazy. So yes, you can go and answer now because we're doing the poll again. And I'll bet the numbers are higher now that we know what, we had 86% didn't think he'd make it. I'll bet that the new poll, the numbers are higher on the no. Norse Trojan, I think he'll have booty warriors day one. Mexican Vader, he'll survive until his life is taken in prison. Yeah. Medical Buds, the Muslims will look out for him. You heard it here first. That is an interesting theory. That is an interesting theory. Pig King said, screw those whistles, makes it hard to listen to cams after a Leo incident. And listen, man, like, so here's the thing with those whistles. I have permanent hearing damage and a constant ringing in my ear ever since I went out to document what happened with Tommy Boy and Elazar and Right Side Rebel here in Eugene, Oregon. And a literal employee of the University of Oregon brought them out whistles and told them to assault us with whistles. I'm looking at a lawsuit. T-Man said, it's pretty sad, bro. Lots of these people on the left who have been lied to mislead and tricked them into doing this crap for a side that doesn't give two shits about them. Begs the question, is it worth it? So here's the thing. All those people who radicalized this dude into doing this, the people who radicalized Ryan Ruth into thinking he would be an all-American hero if he took Trump out on a golf course, they're not going to write him. They're not going to put money on his books. He's going to be forgotten by the people that he did this to try to win their fucking approval, just like he's going to be forgotten in history. And he should be. The same with school shooters. We shouldn't remember school shooters' names. We shouldn't remember, honestly, we shouldn't remember serial killers' names. These are degenerate, scumfuck, demon people. And they should be, the only times we should ever remember them is when we fucking make fun of them or go, yeah, that person is evil as fuck. Fuck that person. So, I just got to say, fuck Ryan Ruth. Irish Bomb Squad said he's going to stay in PC. So here's the thing about Florida and PC. They're not just going to indefinitely give him PC. So the COs, the main difference between West Coast and East Coast, at least Florida versus California and Oregon and Washington is out here on the West Coast and Irish Bomb Squad. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Out here, you worry more about the other inmates, the gangs, the lifers, that shit when you're locked up. And the COs are really more just happy if the COs aren't getting beat up, if the COs aren't getting stabbed. They're not out there doing really violent shit to the inmates very often. But look, man, I'm going to tell you right now, out in Florida, it's different, bro. The COs out there are beating the fuck out of inmates. There's a sergeant that collects inmates' teeth in a jar. They get away with this shit. They are the biggest gang in the Florida system, is the correctional officers. And I'm going to tell you, I have never seen correctional officers the size of the COs in Florida. Them motherfuckers are big and corn-fed as hell, bro. And, a lot of them, they all live in these areas. And so they all grew up together. They all know each other. And then they go into jobs and corrections together. And they're like, yeah, these people are scumbags. We're going to fuck them up. They'll come in your cell. I've seen this just in a county jail. 4, 5, 6 of them will come to your cell at 3, 4 in the morning. And you'll just hear the inmate in that cell screaming. And then they'll drag him out by his foot. And there will be a trail of blood. And then they'll pop the door for the orderlies and tell them, mop this shit up. And they'll drag him across pavement, dog. Like, if you mouth off to them motherfuckers, or they don't like you for any given reason, the COs there will absolutely fuck your life up. Johnny said, on 150 milligrams methadone, and I stopped breathing from Xanax withdrawal. I've been clean for 8 years, bro. I am so proud of you, dog. 8 years is incredible. Hell yeah, chat. Let's give Johnny some love on that 8, bro. That's a big deal, man. I love your life, and thank you for sharing your story to inspire us all. Harley Dad said, don't drop the soap. They should give him powdered soap, bro. He could try to pick that up. Give whoever's pitching from behind a little extra time on it. Johnny said, my brother died 3 months later, too. Do you sell 3X tanks? We do, man. We do. And in fact, I'm wearing one of my newest shirts today. This is the Crusades 2.0. We have them in tank tops, shirts, and in hoodies. And all of it's available at bunkerbranding.com. Ricky said, I came kind of on the fence about this, but domestic terror word. But then how many of us vets we're screwed over. And again, once we clean house, I pray people like you are still around to put it back together. Man, I love you so much, brother. Ricky, I love you so much. Thank you for your service. It's going to take big changes, bro. We're going to need a hard reset in this country. We're going to need a hard reset in this country. Dr. Dre Light, I fucking love you, bro. If anybody wants to get this or make pedophiles afraid again, shirt or hat, hoodie, tank, pinned comment in the chat, man. Pinned comment in the chat. My little sis, Khadija, said, hey, big brother, I hate that the GoFundMe page was taken down for Jerry. Can you please give $10 to him for me? I missed the live and didn't know the page. It would mean so much. Absolutely, 100% will. Absolutely. So he moved to Give, Send, Go. And we're going to talk a little bit about Give, Send, Go today too. Because, honestly, Oliver just got this shirt today. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. So stoked that you're repping the Crusades 2.0 with us, man. Big love. So GoFundMe is a very liberal platform, and they're known for taking people's shit down. I actually just the other day found one of the co-creators of Give, Send, Go, which is a conservative-based platform. And he is a Christian, a conservative, and a veteran. And he's the co-founder of Give, Send, Go. And so Captain Jerry moved his fund over to Give, Send, Go. And the co-founder of the company advertised his charity fund to help him get a new mobility scooter, which I thought was so awesome, man. I'm going to be doing a video on that, shouting them out for doing that for Captain Jerry and promoting Give, Send, Go. They don't pay me. I just think it's sick that it's a Christian conservative veteran that's one of the co-founders, and that they pumped Captain Jerry, man. Grumpy Knuckles, yeah, he wasn't worried about COs out here. We were worried about everyone sending kites on the tier. Oh, shit. Yeah, I already know that's right, bro. I know that's right. So people think that, there's not rats and snitches in prison. And that's the farthest fucking thing from the truth, bro. It's funny because, dudes would get fucked up at OSP for riding the leg. Riding the leg is when you're, on the CO's dick all the time. And the COs hate those people, too. The COs can't stand those people. The CO will come up and be like, man, y'all see that bitch over there? I need a can of leg off with that dude. I need to joking about needing to pepper spray the weirdos for talking to him all the time and everything, bro. It's absolutely crazy. So we're going to be taking a look at this whole Billie Eilish situation because this is really nuts. This is another woke celebrity who thought she was doing something by virtue signaling, and it backfired. The same night that my brother Jelly Roll went out there, didn't make it political, gave all the glory to Jesus Christ and to God, Billie Eilish was out there talking about fuck ICE.
What might be stoking the flames of what we're seeing on the streets in America today? Cue the Grammys.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Welcome to the land of the tone deaf, but ideologically captured. That's right. This was a scene at the Grammys the other night. You cannot simultaneously believe that, one, all borders are fake and not to be policed, and two, that land can be stolen. It's just a discrepancy that you can't remedy. This is one of the most brain dead beliefs a person can hold, but these are the luxury beliefs that a lot of these celebrities do hold. And in fact, let's just have a listen to just how precious it is.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Bro, who the fuck is this? Who is this? Who is this blonde? Does it look like there's any thought process behind those eyes? Who is this? Can somebody tell me who this is in the comments? I really don't feel like there's any thought process behind those eyes at all whatsoever. Am I wrong? Sabrina Carpenter, thank you. Thank you. You guys think, is that like a Somali IQ clapping? That's crazy. That's crazy. She's so brave. She's so brave. She said exactly what everyone else in Hollywood wants her to say. Oh my God. The courage it must have took to say some super basic retard shit and repeat what everybody else is saying. No one is illegal on stolen land. Fuck ICE. BLM. That's retarded, bro. That's retarded. Nikki said, hey, brother, thank you for always keeping us up to date on what's going on. Also, you put me on to Valhalla VFT. He had a lot of good information in his live last night. Much love and respect. Hey, Nikki, thank you for being here with us. Sorry, Nick. Thank you for being here with us. I appreciate you. I was in Valhalla's live for a little bit last night, man. Absolutely great stuff. Love you, brother. Thank you for being here with us. Zach said, hey, JD, thank you for being you. I appreciate that, man. I try. Recently, I almost relapsed after being sober for 4 years and watching you talk about your struggles with what helped me stop myself. You're an amazing man. Much love. Listen, Zach, my brother, there's not a single problem in your life that you can't make exponentially worse by using. We never numb out our problems and make them go away. We just delay the inevitable. And I love you. And to anybody who has relapsed, just know that it's not a period. It's a comma. It doesn't have to be, I lost everything. It can be, okay, cool. This gives me a second to regroup and figure out how I can fortify my recovery and do better. And that's what it should be. That's what it should be, you guys. T-Man, this whole celebrity worship thing is bullshit. Jesus Christ is the only man who did anything to earn our worship, love, and trust. Besides, I'd rock with Kid Rock over that crazy chick. Hey, man, listen. You know how I feel, T-Man. You know how I feel. And the celebs that I fuck with, very, very, very short list. You know, let me tell you this. So Jelly Roll, when he came out on stage at the Grammys and he gave all of the glory to Jesus Christ, you know, we're talking about a man who, when I met him in his kitchen with him and Bunny, me and Jax, he took the time to sit there and talk about Jesus Christ with me in his kitchen. While he ate a meal, he sat there and talked to us about recovery and about what God has done in his life. Like, he's that same dude in front of the camera as he is when the cameras aren't on. And in fact, they hide most of the stuff they do for other people because they don't want to do it for clout. They do it because they believe in it and it's their heart, man. 30 said, yo, JD, just wanted to let the viewers know to join Solina Erona, defend the motherland, defend Aaron. Yes, yes, defend Ireland, man. Big love and respect to you, brother. So let's get in here. Oh, hold on, one more real quick. We got Cane Master. To all the shitbags that think they're on stolen land, get the hell off it. Hey, and brother, this is going somewhere. This is going somewhere. Trust me, this shit gets good, homie. And we are, just to remind you guys, deciding, this is Clyde Do Something here on YouTube. We're going to decide as we watch this whether or not I will be subbing to him. And you guys can make that decision for yourselves as well as we go through this. Oh, God. Oh, God. What is this outfit? Oh, God.
And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter and the people matter. And
do you guys think Billie Eilish goes out and protests? Do you guys think that Billie Eilish is out there fighting and protesting? Nah, dog. She's a multi-millionaire. None of these people live the struggle that we live on a daily basis. These people don't have to worry about where their next meal or their insurance payment or their rent is coming from. They don't have to worry about any of that. They don't have people in their lives that they have to answer to. These people are awash in a sea of entitlement and a life that we can't even fucking fathom. So they lose touch. It's a two-way street. I can't fathom living a life where I don't have to work 7 days a week because I've been doing it for so long. I can't fathom living a life where I don't have to take care of a bunch of other people because I have a family. These people can't fathom the life that we live because they've been getting their ass wiped for them for so long. And they lose touch with reality of who the American people are and what we've been dealing with for so long. They don't have any idea what's real anymore. And I want to say this because I am going to make fun of Billie Eilish. Also, I want to temper that with the fact that she's 24 years dumb. And honestly, she's probably been preyed upon by half of the demons out there in Hollywood and the music industry. We know that she was groomed by Drake. She was probably groomed, possibly assaulted by other people. I want to give her a little bit of grace in this because we don't know what she's been through and she's still pretty young. But she doesn't need to be out here fucking virtue signaling like this. That's retarded. So what she said there was fuck ICE. Super edgy. Super edgy. Really, really well thought out stuff there. Really brave for you to say that.
Sorry.
F ICE, that's what she did say. That's Billie Eilish, the singer, the tone deaf singer, obviously, because, well, people are pointing this out. Breaking. Americans are calling Hollywood elitist Billie Eilish to return her $14 million LA mansion to the Tongva tribe after she claimed no one is illegal on stolen land.
So she actually bought this $14 million mansion from Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. This is how she's living. You can see this mansion completely surrounded by beautiful trees and beautiful California. She lives a life that none of us could fucking fathom. None of us could fathom. So it's really easy when you live in a place like this to think that everybody else should give their shit up. Do you think she's willing to give up this mansion because it's on stolen land? Should she give it back to the Tongva tribe? Is she going to give her shit to some Venezuelans or some Somalians?
This could also, she could also graciously host illegal aliens in her mansion. After all, she is on the moral high ground, way up on the Hollywood Hills, that moral high ground. Put up or shut the F up is what people are calling for. Of course, here it is. Billie Eilish said F ICE last night, but lives in a $14 million mansion.
Damn, you know what that gate looks like to me? You know what that gate and that fence, that's a tall gate. I'm not going to lie, bro. It looks like she has lion head gate knockers on that bitch. Of course, it's an electric gate, so they're just for looks. And the two lions at the top of the beams there, the shit looks sick. I'm not hating on her for having nice stuff. I'm hating on her because she's retarded. So stolen mansion, stolen fans, holy fuck. But you know what all this looks like, this gate? And this fence, it looks like a border to me. Is that to keep people out? How can you say that this is stolen land and no one should be illegal on stolen land when you're living on stolen land, and you built a border to keep people out? That seems a little fucky.
Behind a wall, a big old wall, by the way, and probably with security and the like, the whole thing. So out of touch is what's being said. But what are the real repercussions if those kinds of policies are brought in? We'll talk about the ICE part in a minute, but let's talk about stolen land. Well, guess what? Canada has been running this experiment, and now it looks like people who have bought their properties may actually have those properties taken from them because they're giving it back to the natives. That's right. Here's Dallas Brody talking about these silly settlers that just happen to own homes in British Columbia.
Just when you thought things couldn't get any more insane in this province, a BC Supreme Court judge has just ruled that Aboriginal title will be recognized over the private lands in the city of Richmond. Wake up, people. Your fee simple title is now uncertain and possibly invalid.
Yeah, so people are saying, wasn't the land, so like large parts of California and Texas and New Mexico, large parts of it was purchased. But they're saying that it wasn't a fair deal because by today's standards, well, bitch, it wasn't today. It wasn't today. Did we take advantage of people? Probably. Probably. Was it us? Was it me or you? I don't know about y'all. I never took advantage of any natives or any Hispanic people. I was born into a country where we had a border and, buying a home is fucking absolutely retardedly unaffordable. And I work my ass off 7 days a week to be able to provide that for my family. That just kind of is what it is. In Canada, they're going to take people's homes they bought away from them. That's insane.
And you thought you owned your land. Well, you'd better think again.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly why 1BC has been raising the alarm about the threat that Indigenous claims pose to the future prosperity of British Columbia. Make no mistake, to undo the damage that this is going to cause will require every one of us to stand up and demand changes to the Constitution of Canada. We at 1BC are here to lead that movement. We will fight for you and fight for the future of British Columbia. Join 1BC to fight for the future of this beautiful province.
So if you happen to be in Canada, you can join that fight. But if you're not, well, you're going to have to deal with the other fight. That's right. This has been going on for some time. This is Minnesota, by the way, but this is not recent. This is because of Black Lives Matter. Wait, we're not talking about that anymore. We've moved on to the newest, greatest thing. That's right. No human is illegal. Abolish ICE. This is not spontaneous. This is not something that has just come out of nowhere. No, this is by design, and this is why we're seeing stuff like this popping up all over America. We've got these reports, and we're going to get into the actual what happened in this case. But the report here is students in Austin attacked a teacher during an anti-ICE walkout. The scary part is what they did today is what they'll be doing in 10 years. But what is this reminiscent of? This is reminiscent of color revolutions that have been taking place all over the world and for some time. And I got to give a shout out to Promethean Action, because these two lovely ladies have been actually putting forward a lot of really great information, and it's really historically accurate. So here's a clip from one of their shows about color revolutions and where their origins actually come from.
Now ask yourself, what was Britain's greatest fear in the 19th century?
I'm going to tell you guys this. This chick looks like old and dry, but she is incredibly fucking based. I actually didn't know he had this on here, but this breaks this down. I watched this on X. I've watched this like twice now.
That the principles of the American Revolution would spread, that the economics of the American system would create strong, prosperous, sovereign nations, leaving the imperial policies of financial control, backwardness, and depopulation in the dust, which, by the way, is exactly what Donald Trump is doing today.
Yeah.
So how do they want to respond? Pay attention to the Anglosphere commentators. Suddenly, it's all the rage to quote Lord Palmerston. First, it was Lord Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Henry John Temple, Lord Palmerston, one of my great heroes, and I'm using one of my favorite books, the Dictionary of Quotations. He famously said, "We have no eternal allies, and we have no perpetual enemies. Our interests are eternal and perpetual, and those interests it is our duty to follow." This is really important because when you're looking at foreign policy, it is crucial to remember.
Then Canadian Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre referenced Palmerston in the same way as a model for the current transition.
But we must also remember that our trade and security partnership with the U.S. is centuries old and will outlast one president. To quote the British Liberal Prime Minister, Lord Palmerston, "We have no eternal allies and we have no perpetual enemies. Our interests are eternal and perpetual, and those interests, it is our duty to follow.
So why is America, why is every other country on the face of the planet allowed to pursue their interests? But when America does it, it's evil. When America pursues its interests, inherently our own people, a bunch of our own people, and you know the people I'm talking about, the ones with the blue hair and the nose rings and the dudes with the estrogens, you know what I'm saying? Why are there so many people in our country who root against America constantly? Canada is dudes allowed to talk about doing what's in their best interest. Every other country on the planet does what's in their best interest. Why is it always evil when America does it? Why do people in our own country hate our country so much? Like, I think it's because everybody is so America-centric here. We're so uneducated. I'm sorry, Americans. A lot of these people are really uneducated about the actual truth of what it's like to live in other places. Now, there are other Western civilizations out there where it might be nice to live. I'm not discounting that. But they have the same types of problems that we have. They have the same exact types of issues. America is a beautiful country. We are a lot more free than almost everywhere else on the planet. And those freedoms allow us to be able to criticize our government, to be able to criticize, well, any government on the face of the planet, except for one. There's one government we're not allowed to criticize, you guys. We all know who that is. The tiny hats that dance to the da-da-ra-ra-ra-ra. They're now trying to make it illegal for American citizens to criticize that government, which is wild because in Nazi Germany, who were you not allowed to criticize? Hitler and the Nazi government. In North Korea, who were you not allowed to criticize? Kim Jong-blow or Kim Jong-suk or whatever, whoever the fuck that dude is. You're not allowed to criticize him. But in America, who are you not allowed to criticize? I mean, that's a little fucking weird. I see y'all in the chat. Y'all know what we're talking about. Y'all know who it is. So it's weird that we have such a self-hating country. Starvos, oh yeah. No one's illegal on stolen land, yet you need ID to get into the Grammys, and all these pedophile celebrities will call the cops if you enter their gated homes. Fucking beautiful, brother. Love you, man. Ashland, Oregon auctions. Unalive Hollywood. Bro, I love Ashland. Ashland's gorgeous, man. And ABCD says she looks like Sophia, the AI robot with hair. Oh shit. That's actually a really good. You nailed that, bro. You nailed that. Let's check on that poll. Show me the poll. Okay. So about the same amount of people think he won't make it through his life sentence. Okay. Nobody's opinion changed knowing that he's doing life in prison. Okay. Well, now we know. Knowing is half the battle.
And the British website Unheard lamented that the nation of Lord Palmerston is unable to secure itself a place in an emerging global order. Now, this isn't nostalgia. This is a roadmap. Lord Palmerston dominated British foreign policy from 1809 to 1865 as Secretary of War, Foreign Secretary, and Prime Minister. His mission was simple: destroy any nation or alliance that might follow in the footsteps of the United States and challenge British hegemony. And how did he do it? He didn't just use gunboats. He pioneered the use of mobs and liberation movements to destabilize rival nations from within. He sponsored anarchists, separatists, and radicals across Europe and America to break up sovereign states that threatened the empire. Lord Palmerston was the original author of the Color Revolution.
The Color Revolution. Wow, this is something that we've seen in many, many occasions. And I've brought this up many times on the channel. And, I've shown people that are, define this perfectly. I'll give a little clip of this, but we're not going to play the whole thing. I'll leave links in the description down below, especially to the Prometheus action. They're really knocking it out of the park these days.
Political experts over and over refer to the fact that what we're witnessing is a color revolution. And they're right. And let me explain why. A color revolution is a communist globalist playbook to take over a country without tanks actually rolling down Main Street. It's how they flipped places like Serbia, Georgia, Ukraine, and they tried to flip a dozen others. The same exact playbook every single time.
And that is exactly what you see happening in Minneapolis. It's what you see happening in Portland, Oregon. It's what you see happening in Los Angeles. They're trying to take over the country from within through indoctrinating people. That's why this whole thing, it's crazy how much stuff all leads back to Jeffrey Epstein and that whole situation. So our history books, our textbooks, our entire education system in this country, all of our books come from three major companies. Do you know who owns those companies? Well, I'll give you a hint. It was Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, Robert Maxwell, who was a spy for the same ally of America that we were just talking about. Why would a spy from another country be allowed to buy the companies that are teaching, they're writing the books that teach our kids? Like it's been since I was a kid. Maxwell owned these companies. And all of our school books, everything that we've learned came from these books. Everything in the media is either determined by or censored by the same group of people. And we have these radical weirdos. And then you look at what Epstein was into and what he was pushing. He was 100% into transitioning kids. It's in the files that he was talking with a doctor and they were working on pushing transitioning kids as young as 3 years old. He was working on getting blackmail material against world leaders, destabilizing nations, being able to use them as puppets. And why do you think that we give hundreds of millions of dollars every year to that government if they don't have shit on us? They take money out of our pockets and they give it to a foreign nation in mass every single year and have been for decades. It's absolutely insane. So if you're wondering who's running this show and who's trying to destabilize our country through color revolutions, there's a really good place to start.
This is how they do it. 1, they demonize the leader of the people who they actually voted for. 2, they flood the country with chaos like riots, open borders, economic pain. 3, they weaponize the courts, the media, and big tech to finish him off. And 4, they install a puppet who sells the country out to China and the UN. And that's not theory, that's the manual.
Does that sound a lot familiar to what's going on these days? This did happen in China back when they had their color revolution, and they had what they called struggle sessions, where they would bring and they would shame and maim people that were not ideologically pure to the cause. This has been depicted in movies as well. Banned in China, let me just tell you, banned in China. These kinds of scenes that actually took place, this is what went down, and this is what they're trying to bring here. This is absolutely a tragic course of events, but it's all by design.
You know what keeps this from happening here? Us and the Second Amendment. People like me and all of you in the chat, and the Second Amendment is the only thing currently standing between this type of shit happening here and they're trying to take our Second Amendment. And to see people in our government that have classically been pro-Second Amendment and pro-First Amendment making laws saying that we can't contradict a foreign government and starting to contradict the principles that we founded our Second Amendment rights on. These constitutional rights in the Constitution says they are God-given. They are inherent God-given constitutional rights, and governments shall not infringe. And we're starting to see them infringe more and more and more. And it's not right. It's not right.
To see this kind of thing. These were the students that brought their professors.
Hey, Lakers, Sulky, whatever your fucking lame ass name is, you are a power bitch. You are the type of bitch who takes as many D's at the same time as humanly possible. You are retarded. I have done more work calling for the Epstein files to be released, calling out the person who was in charge of getting them released than anyone I've seen on social media. I lost a 1.7 million follower TikTok account for doing it. I have continued to do it. I have told people repeatedly, I'm working on digesting. I've spent the last 3 days tearing my mental health a brand new asshole, going through not just the files, but the videos that the DOJ has hidden from us because somebody hit me with a hack to be able to look at these videos. You clearly have not just gone and done the simple work of looking at my content. So on your way out the door, because you just got twatapulted by my homie Sarah, I'm going to give you the binky. You're going to put it in your throat and you're going to like it. And you're going to fucking gargle, I'm sorry, Daddy. But you're not going to comment here anymore because you're a fucking cuck. And this is why your parents don't talk to you anymore and why you get absolutely no pussy. Hope that helps.
Out to shame them, maim them, and have them declare ideological purity.
When you hear the expression, okay, boomer, thoughts don't immediately turn to the red guards of the Cultural Revolution. This is the fanatical youth paramilitary groups that had undying devotion to the person of Mao Zedong, and for the opening years of the Cultural Revolution really unleashed havoc. But that's exactly what the Red Guards were. They were China's baby boomer generation, which is to say, the people who took part in the Red Guard movement were born by and large after the Second World War and after the Communist Revolution of 1949, and grew up in one of the most stable and affluent periods in 20th century Chinese history up to that point. If you were...
Okay, so all of this is super interesting, but I want to get to where we talk about, I feel like this is going all over the map, and I want to talk about what actually happened with this shit with Billie Eilish after she said this shit. I like you, guy, but you kind of dropped that.
And they use their platform in order to virtue signal in ways that are now being criticized and mocked heavily online.
So this is Native American tribe lashes out at Billie Eilish. And this is another dude I haven't checked out yet until this video. This is Black Conservative Perspective.
Because everybody understands that these people don't actually mean the things that they say, right? And nowadays, the woke virtue signal, the popular woke virtue signal, is to talk trash about ICE, right? Is to come out against ICE because ICE is enforcing our laws. And apparently there was a whole lot of that at the Grammys, okay? And we got to talk about Billie Eilish and her virtue signal, her rant that seems to be backfiring, that she went on at the Grammys against ICE, in which she claimed that, I guess, America is stolen land, right? And that nobody's illegal on stolen land. And also she said F ICE. And now she's getting a whole lot of backlash for what she said.
No one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like...
You know why it's really hard to know what to say and what to do is because they're constantly changing what they're virtue signaling. One day it's going to be Ukraine, then it's going to be Palestine, then it's going to be, we have to save the Venezuelan gangs. Then it's going to be, we have to save the Somalian bulb heads doing fucking billions of dollars of fraud. Then it's going to be, Mexican flags. I understand. That shit must suck to live in this ideology, because the second you're not on the most current topic, they're like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? Why don't you have pronouns in your bio? You haven't posted this country's flag yet. It's got to be exhausting to live like this. And the second that you don't toe that line and you're not on the cutting edge of the new thing they're virtue signaling about, they cannibalize each other. They eat each other alive.
We just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And
yeah! Who is this? Does anybody know who this is? Does anybody know who these two are? Who are they? Who are they?
Eilish's speech.
Does anybody know who they are? They're fucking lit, bro. Who the fuck was that? These two right here. They're great. Emily Austin, she's a conservative. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, based people with actual brains. I'm sorry, you guys. I forgot. Please don't fucking cancel me. I forgot No Kings and Free Maduro. Yes, No Kings and Free Maduro. My bad. Thank you for reminding me. Summer Sweet Tea. Appreciate you so much. Yeah, these two are based. Nah, fuck eyes. Yeah.
Eilish's speech at the Grammys is one of the best representations of audience capture I've seen in a while, because she unironically went on stage and argued that no person is illegal on stolen land, despite the fact that she's one of the great beneficiaries of the stolen land that she exists on. The only reason why she did it was in a vain attempt to pander to her audience about ICE. I'm talking about her audience. I'm not just talking about the people who listen to her music. I'm also talking about the people she surrounded herself with. Billie Eilish live in a massive complex somewhere in California with walls and guards that she owns herself. Yeah, probably. It doesn't matter to them that the system that was set up benefits her greatly, because she's willing to say the things that they want to hear. See, she understands that if she doesn't say the things that her audience wants to hear, they're going to be upset with her. That phrase, nobody is illegal on stolen land, is exactly what they want to hear, and she knows it. She knows that if she doesn't say it, if she doesn't pander, she risks losing everything. She's willing to do that, even if it means being a giant hypocrite.
What does she mean by stolen land? Radical.
So here's the thing is you've got a 24-year-old young lady who lives on a $14 million private mansion compound somewhere in LA, surrounded by beautiful wilderness, telling you that borders don't exist, telling you that we don't own the property that we live on, telling you that everybody should be able to come here. Now I want to point something out to you guys. I want to ask you guys a question. We're going to do a quick poll here. Would you ride out with liberals in a zombie apocalypse? Would you ride out with liberals in a zombie apocalypse, or would you rather be with conservatives in a zombie apocalypse? Which would you choose? Do you want to be with the people who say we have to accept everyone? We have to accept everyone. Inclusion for everyone. Because you know these motherfuckers in a zombie apocalypse are going to be like, well, wait. What about their human rights? We should just let them in. We need to just let them in. We need to let them in. Or, at the very best, they're going to be cannon fodder for people who are actually competent in survival skills, in combat, the people who've been, prepping for this for decades. I don't know about y'all. I'm prepped, homie. I live on a compound, and if the shit goes down, old JD and his family, we're prepped up. We got the things that we're going to need to be able to survive when the grocery stores don't have food anymore. I guarantee you, within 48 hours of the grocery stores not having soy latte fucking ingredients on the shelves anymore, and fucking almond milk and kale on the shelves. These people are going to lose their shit. Future Meat Shields, Crazy Ace. Yo. Yeah, dude. I'm not riding out with those people. We got 95% of people are like, fuck no. Fuck no. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? And there's some, I guarantee you there's some liberals out there that, are veterans that, did their prepping, that are combat ready. But for the most part, nah. I'm taking my Democrat neighbors' groceries. Yo, Beamy. Yo, that's, yeah. Yeah, you all know what time it is. You know what time it is. You know whose shit you're going to get the second the shit gets weird, bro. The second that the shit gets weird, you know exactly whose shit you're going for. John Bravo! What is up, you guys? Ladies and gentlemen, we have an absolute YouTube legend in the chat. We got my boy John Bravo here with us today. Thank you so much for being here, dog. It's great to see you. We were just talking about zombie apocalypse and, Billie Eilish and, just kind of all over the fucking spectrum here. Love you, brother. It's so good to see you. I just got done watching John Bravo's newest video. And if you guys have been following the Pegged Watson series, old Wesley Watson, what he did in court, in this situation with the civil case is so wild. I literally couldn't believe it. I just watched John's video on it this morning. I highly recommend you go watch John's last two videos to see exactly how fucked Wes Watson is. It is absolutely insane, the stuff that John just continues to uncover. And nobody covers it better than him. From his delivery, to his research, to his editing skills, to just the fact that his hair is the best hair on fucking YouTube. 100% recommend. John Bravo is one of the staple channels of people that I watch on a regular basis. The guys from the Unsub, John Bravo, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible work. So thank you for being here with us today, John. Love you so much, buddy. Let's get back into this and hear what we're talking about.
Communists like Billie Eilish, who profits handsomely, I might add, from American capitalism, believe that America was stolen from the Native Americans, meaning that we have no right to enforce laws today, chiefly immigration laws. By the way, Billie Eilish lives in a $14 million mansion in Los Angeles.
So, okay, take away the laws and the people who enforce the laws, because that's what happens in a zombie apocalypse. That's what we are entirely just talking about. What do you think that creates? That creates a system where you can only own what you can defend. Do you think Billie Eilish will be able to defend her $14 million mansion if she gets what she's calling for on stage? What she just called for on stage is take away ownership, nobody's illegal on stolen land, and abolish ICE, get rid of law enforcement. What that creates is a system where you literally only own what you can physically defend in combat. That's how the world used to be, you guys. When we were settling these land disputes, if you didn't buy or barter or trade for land, it was, look, I'm taking your shit because I can. If she wants to go back to I'm taking your shit because I can, and that's the actual law, how long do you think she's going to have a $14 million mansion in LA? Because I'll head there today. That shit looks sick. Did you see that pool? I'll live there. She can't fight me. That's fucking crazy. That's what she's calling for. Literally her own demise. And that is a common thread with these lefties, is they have suicidal empathy. They would rather see our country fucking burn for the benefit of people that would literally kill you over a fucking dollar than to have any pride in this country, to recognize what this country has facilitated them being able to have, the freedom, the luxury that we live in compared to other countries. I can tell you this right now. If we go to a place in our country where you can only keep what you can physically defend, I'ma be good, bro. I'ma be good. Are they? She's not renting. Big Papa Monk, she's not renting. She bought that mansion, the $14 million mansion, from Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino,
on property that was once inhabited by the Tongva tribe. So far as we can tell, she hasn't taken any steps to return her mansion and surrounding property to its rightful owners, but we'll keep you posted. People like Billie Eilish are, of course, stupid, but what she says has influence. And what she means is that she doesn't believe the United States actually exists as a legal entity, as a nation. Oh, and you know something else? When Billie Eilish was in Ireland recently, she actually said this to her audience, cut 7.
Well, as you guys know, I'm Irish, so it's cool to be here. I am not from here, obviously, but it's really cool to come somewhere and like everybody looks exactly like you.
So she got eaten alive by the left for this. They absolutely decimated Billie for saying that she thought it was cool to be around people that look like her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're Irish, bro. Pale skin, little pink, freckles, shit like that. They ate her alive for that. They hated on her so hard. They turned on her in a hot second. After all her virtue signaling, after all of her, saying the right thing over and over and over again, they were like, racist! That was racist! You can't acknowledge that you're white and it's cool to be around other people that are like you? That's fucking insane. I don't for a second think that Billie Eilish was being racist. I don't know how after that experience, she didn't go, man, I'm not fucking with this shit anymore. I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to stop trying to pander to these mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging retards. I'm going to let them lick windows and go fuck themselves. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, they'll turn on her again the second she doesn't say exactly what she's supposed to say. And I'm never going to say what I'm supposed to say. I don't give a fuck. Fear Grove, finally caught you on a live. I just wanted to say that I support all the stuff you stand for. Keep it up, JD. Much love from Illinois. Hell yeah. Wood chipper. Love you, brother. Appreciate you. Sailor Cat, I have 2 nose rings, but I'm not a part of those people. One love. Hubby started his VA doc appointments this week. Yes, I hope they get him straight. Hoping it all comes out good. Big love and respect to you and your husband. Thank you for both of your service and sacrifice. I know he served, but when somebody is serving our country, their whole family is a part of that sacrifice. And I acknowledge and honor the sacrifice that all of you made. Sis, we need a clean government. We need a hard reset. We need a hard reset, in my opinion. Yorkshire Republic News. The whole stolen land stuff is a weird way of saying conquered by the Scottish, Welsh, and English. Leftists need to retake history classes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Land was either conquered or a lot of it was made out of trades. A lot of the land that they have land disputes about was legitimately bought and the rest of it was taken by force. Because back in the day, before we were as civilized as we are right now, aka run by banks that are owned by people from America's greatest ally, it was you can keep what you can protect, what you can defend. And that was just it. New Canaan Guardian said, will Don Lemon get protective custody in prison? I absolutely 1000% believe he will. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to put his ass in protective custody, bro. They can't afford to let him get his cheeks taken by anyone he doesn't want deep inside him. You know he's going to want some white meat when he's in prison, but it's got to be, they can't let him get his booty took by someone non-consensually because he'll make a huge fucking crybaby deal about it. Dominar, our freedom comes with a lot of responsibility for each of us. We, the people, must stand strong. I love you, brother. We, the people, got this, man. Cane Master, If you don't know what to say, then don't say nothing. She'd have been better off just getting up there and just, hey, thanks to my management, thanks to my fans. I appreciate you guys. Let's keep rocking good music or whatever, Like literally, dude, there's nothing requiring you to get up there and make some dumpster fire ass speech. Literally nothing. Hey, big brother, I'm 30 years old, by the way. Don't worry about what other people say. I always had to tell myself that. You are real and a hard worker. Your mental health is always important. I love you. Thank you for that patience and kindness, sis. I love you. This is why we family. Transer and Lucy said, so she is going to surrender her house on the hill to those land was stolen from. Love to see it. Well, they're actually, and that's what I'm trying to get to in this video. They're suing. They're trying to take it back. They're trying to take it back from her. Diamond Alex, love you, bro. Appreciate you. 45. Yo, JD, what did I miss? Just got off work. Also, cool hat. Where did you get it? Before I forget, we don't hate the government enough. Well, so we're talking right now. We did discuss the dude who tried to assassinate Donald Trump in Florida on the golf course. He got life in prison plus 89 months stacked consecutively. So if he somehow manages to die and come back to life, he's still got to serve 89 months on top of that bitch in Florida prisons. It's a bad look, dog. They're not going to like that dude in there. He's a super Antifa liberal weirdo. And now we're talking about Billie Eilish's disgraceful display at the Grammys, man. Talking about no one's illegal on stolen land and fuck ICE while she lives in a $14 million mansion that she's now being sued. They're talking about doing a lawsuit to take that shit back from her because the native tribe was like, bitch, bet.
Oh, really? A white American telling a foreign audience she likes to go places where everyone looks like her? Sounds kind of racist to me.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is stunning. It really is. Okay, like it's so in your face. It's disgusting. What makes this even more disgusting is the fact that despite this virtue signal about stolen land, right? Stolen land. She is living on stolen land, like Scott Jennings pointed out, at least according to her own logic, because a Native American tribe, right, has basically come out and said, hey, we don't like all this virtue signaling, right? You have not contacted us about, giving us our land back, right? Our stolen land back that she currently lives on in her multi-million-dollar Los Angeles mansion.
These natives are based, bro. The Irish have always had a really good relationship with the natives here. These natives are based as fuck, bro. I love this. This is great.
According to a local tribe out in California, she built her mansion on property that belongs to Native Americans. We talked to the Tongva tribe out in Southern Cal, who says she's living on their property, saying this in part, as the first people of the greater Los Angeles basin, we do understand that her home is situated on our ancestral land. Eilish hasn't contacted her tribe directly regarding her property. So back in 2020, comedian Ricky Gervais was ahead of this. He said, please do not get up here and use the stage as a platform for politics, saying in part, you're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. Now mocking Grammy winners because he said they're doing it again, saying they're still not listening. So celebrities had their pins on that said ICE out at the Grammys, but DHS says while they were kind of complaining on stage, their team was arresting people in Minnesota, dozens of people who they say were in the country illegally, like sex offenders, child abusers, and criminals convicted of assault.
So, quick poll. Does anybody in the chat care what their favorite celebrity or any celebrity thinks about fucking politics? Does anybody in the chat just foaming at the mouth to hear what Jennifer Aniston thinks about immigration, or what Brad Pitt thinks about foreign policy? Is anybody here, does anybody fucking here care at all whatsoever what celebrities think? Just shut up and play music. Shut up and act in the stupid thing. Entertain me. I don't care about your thoughts. Absolutely not. Just fucking dance, monkey. Fucking act. fucking sing. Fucking, if you're into sports ball, shut up and throw the fucking ball, you weirdo. I assume if you're in Hollywood, there's a 99.9% chance that you fuck little kids. So I begrudgingly sit down and actually watch TV shows every once in a while. I don't fucking like you, and I don't care what you think about fucking politics at all. Yif Toy. Sup, big bro? Proud of you, little bro. Big love. The Fenian, completely unrelated, but I seen your shorts on the short you did on Chance Wilkins, Cyrax. You should know he's also strangled his grandmother, exposed himself on street. He exposed himself on streams, threatens people constantly, is a chomo and a serial liar. Well, Fenian, I'm going to tell you this right now. I found out that he raped Blind Billy, apparently, too. Allegedly, he raped a little blind boy. Like, what the fuck, bro? That creature, fucking Schmeagol from the Lord of the Rings, out here doing that to blind kids? That's crazy. All talking about filthy habits, murders, thieves, gives us the butthole. That's crazy as shit, bro. Absolutely not. I'm going to deep dive on Cyrax. I really am. I've been so hemmed up in the files looking for any type of gotcha. And here's the thing. The problem with the files is there's not going to be a gotcha in this shit. That's why it took them so long to release it, because they wanted to make sure they released enough to try to placate the people without actually exposing the elites. That's why I've been focusing on the videos that somebody sent me a hack to be able to get into, because it's stuff that the DOJ didn't want us to see. And I'm going to tell you this, all these videos are so fucking disturbing. One common theme is Epstein had the worst taste in music ever. Epstein had the worst taste in music ever. Let me just tell you, Epstein is one of those dudes, those grown-ass men who listens to like sensual R&B male singers. This dude wants to hear other dudes singing soulfully and softly to a soft, weak-ass beat about sex. That's gay. I'm sorry. But if you're like bumping to R. Kelly and as a grown man, if you're bumping to R. Kelly, you gay as fuck, bro. Not in a good way. Not in like, I dress fashionably and I know how to dance and like, you know, I'm just a chill gay dude. But I'm talking about like just slurping up the syrup type shit, bro. His music is fucking gross. And yeah, some of the videos that he recorded looked like they were in some nasty places too for a dude with that much money. 45 said, based natives as usual, like natives are so cool. Bro, big facts. Silent Steve, what's your opinion on Billie Eilish? So Silent Steve, my opinion on Billie Eilish is that Billie Eilish is a 24-year-old girl who is not based in reality, who has lived a life that has her so removed from what the everyday reality on the streets is, that I feel bad for her. I feel like she was 100% groomed by Drake. We all know Drake has been texting her since she was like 12 years old. She's probably had crazy fucking celebrity demons who hurt kids in her personal intimate space for a long time now, probably at least a fucking a decade now. And I honestly, I feel bad for her. Tosh Sultana is actually dope, by the way. Tosh is actually dope. And yes, Billie did steal her style from Tosh. So, you know, I feel bad for Billie, but she should have learned her lesson in Ireland when the left turned on her the first time. She should have been like, you know what? Fuck these people. Nothing's ever going to be enough for them. I'm not allowed to be myself and say simple shit. Fuck these people. Spoon, nobody is illegal on stolen land makes no sense to me. Shouldn't it be nobody is legal on stolen land? Well, making sense isn't really their get down. That's not really what they do. So I don't try to like fully understand things that are just violently retarded, because it's not for me to understand, because I'm not violently retarded. I'm only mildly retarded. I have the mild tardism, bro, for sure. But I'm not like legally retarded. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like medically fucking retarded. I'm just like low grade kind of a retard, like half the time.
According to DHS. And it's not the first time Billie Eilish has called out ICE, okay? She says that the agency is a terrorist organization and is called to defund the police, but it's the same police she called back in 2023 when investigators say someone broke into her California home. So we'll see what she has to say about it now.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's a terrorist organization and is called to defund the police, but it's the same police she called back in 2023 when investigators say someone broke into her California home. So we'll see what she has to say about it now.
She called the cops when somebody broke into her house in 2023 because they were trespassing on stolen fucking land, bro. I didn't know that. That's insane. But that makes a lot of sense because as you will see with these people, it's all they hate the cops. These violent Antifa retards out in Portland, they hate the police. They'll scream at the police. They'll call the police all these names. The second somebody touches them, they're like, help me, save me, Mr. Officer. Save me, Mr. Officer. I'm being oppressed. Somebody touched me. It's fucking hilarious. 45 said Cyrax attempted when he was 13, but got kicked in the junk and got removed from school. Also, I've seen the vids and photos as well. I needed a shower afterwards. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's so bad for my mental health. The videos that I've been watching, it's so trash, dude. So trash. So did he actually rape Blind Billy? Or did he attempt to and got kicked in the nuts? Was that the Blind Billy situation we're talking about with Cyrax? Cyrax, however you say his name. Fucking Uncle Creepy Touch. I hate that dude, bro.
Yeah, again, the hypocrisy is so in your face. It's disgusting, okay? Let's read here. The Native American tribe that owns the land under Billie Eilish's multi-million-dollar Los Angeles mansion said celebrities should, quote, explicitly reference the tribes if they want to use them to virtue signal. The Tongva tribe confirmed the Bad Guy singer's $3 million home does sit on its ancestral land after the 24-year-old used her Grammys acceptance speech to rail against ICE and insists that, quote, no one is illegal on stolen land. Now, you know the thing about this whole nobody is illegal on stolen land thing is that you quite literally cannot have open borders while at the same time claiming that land is stolen, right? Like how does that work, right? Like how does that work? Okay. How can land be property if you have open borders? It's almost as if these people haven't logically thought through their ideology, right? They just say stuff, right? And whatever they think sounds good, that is what they repeat.
Hold on, you guys. Give me 1 second. I've decided I absolutely like this dude. This is Black Conservative Perspective, and he is absolutely someone I want to sub to. So if you're enjoying his perspective on things, give Black Conservative Perspective a sub. He is almost, you guys, he is almost at 1 million subscribers. Let's get him a little closer, man. Dude's based. I like this dude. Hey, Wolfman, thank you for grabbing the Crusades 2.0 shirt, man. My homie Wolfman said that he just grabbed this shirt off bunkerbranding.com, the Crusades 2.0. If you want to get any of my merch, it is in the pinned comment in the chat. Half of you guys, Sarah's already subbed to him. Half of you guys are already subbed to my new homie. Transer and Lucy said, so is Billie Eilish confessing to be in possession of stolen property? Oh, sounds like it. Shouldn't she willingly give it back? So that's actually a crime, homie. Being in possession of stolen property, being in possession of stolen land, that's a crime. You know who's not in possession of stolen property? This dude. I bought my shit. They can suck a dick. I ain't giving it back. 45 said, yes, he attempted but failed. Thank God. Yes, perfect. there is like a documentary out there. It's been hard for everyone's mental state, but only way out is through. Absolutely. And people, there's a lot of people who are really upset with me because I haven't released that much stuff on the Epstein files yet. I've only done like half a dozen videos on the Epstein files so far. But there's been like 3 videos so far that YouTube will not let me release. And there's other videos that YouTube I've released and had to take down and had to go and chop huge chunks of words out to be able to release. It's not as easy as some people think. So for those of you who are patient and understanding and know that like I've been yelling about this for years now, I appreciate you. You guys are awesome. If there was an actual gotcha in there, I would have posted about it immediately, regardless of the consequences.
Okay, for the audiences that want to hear illogical statements, right, that are not grounded in reality, because again, you can't have open borders while at the same time claiming stolen land, right? Land cannot be stolen if it's community property. Open borders implies that land is community property, right? That there's no such thing as ownership of land, right? That land can't be stolen if you support open borders. You can't support this idea that land is stolen in open borders.
420, me, mom of 3, thank you so much.
At the same time, it doesn't make sense. But again, these people, they don't have to make sense. They just have to say the talking points. The indigenous inhabitants of the Los Angeles basin, known as the First Angelinos, said they appreciate Eilish's sentiment. However, they noted that the performer hasn't contacted them directly and insisted that next time she explicitly referenced them. Well, she's not going to because she doesn't give a damn about them. Quote, Eilish has not contacted our tribe directly regarding her property. We do value the instance when public figures provide visibility to the true story of this country, the Tongva spokesperson told the Daily Mail. Quote, it is our hope that in future discussions, the tribe can explicitly be referenced to ensure the public understands that the greater Los Angeles basin remains Gabrielino Tongva territory, the spokesperson added. Eilish was widely mocked for her comments on Sunday as she yelled, quote, F ICE from the stage while denouncing the U.S. as stolen land. Yeah, so apparently this is her mansion, right? Her multi-million-dollar mansion. As you notice here, it has walls, right? You know, those things that leftists claim they're against, right? Barriers, okay? Yeah, her mansion has barriers. Why does her mansion have barriers and walls? Well, maybe because she doesn't just want anybody being able to come up in her home, right? But for whatever reason, she believes that anybody should just be able to come up in America, right? They better come in our country. Having walls is racist, but walls around her house, though, necessary, right? It's amazing how that works. It's almost if these people don't actually believe what they say, right?
Bro, these natives are so fucking based, bro. They made flyers already. They have posters already. That's crazy. So, okay, so Sinister says, you call that a mansion? It looks like a regular ass house. Listen, though. You're talking about LA. You're talking about California. And listen, there's one house and then another house and then another house or maybe a stable or a garage and then another garage over here. There's a pool. Nah, bro, I don't know that it's worth 14 million, but have you seen how expensive shit is in California, bro? Shit in California is crazy expensive.
America, right? They better come in our country. Having walls is racist, but walls around her house, though, necessary, right? It's amazing how that works. It's almost if these people don't actually believe what they say, right? It's fascinating. OG, this quote, stolen land nonsense again. Maybe she should step up and forfeit her Southern California mansion since it's supposedly on stolen land. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wrote.
Ron DeSantis is so based, bro. I love Ron DeSantis for his policies and the shit that he says, bro. Like, I was in Florida during COVID. Ron DeSantis went so hard for us and made sure that we weren't on lockdown more than 2 weeks. He said, we'll do these 14 days. After that, Floridians are free again. we're not sinking everybody's livelihood for this shit.
On X, quote, any white person who does a public stolen land acknowledgement should immediately give his or her land to Native Americans. Otherwise, they don't mean it. Also, I'm pretty sure they don't mean it, wrote Senator Mike Lee on X. Yeah, 100%, right? Just like white people who advocate for reparations don't mean it either, right? Because if they actually were serious about reparations, they would empty out their bank accounts and give it to the next black person they see on the street, right? A homeless black person on the street, they just empty out their bank accounts and say, hey, here you go, right? We owe you a debt, right? But they don't actually really mean it. It's a virtue signal, right? They don't believe this stuff. Quote, a gentle reminder that Billie Eilish, worth $50 million, has given zero to the original inhabitants of this stolen land. Independent journalist Manny Marotta posted on X.
She's worth $50 million at 24 years old, bro. $50 million. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Dustin Gottby said, Ron needs to stop with the hate speech laws for the one group we cannot even mention. Based in facts, bro. Based in facts. Yeah, I'm so sick of people simping and trying to take away our First Amendment rights for any nation. Any nation. We're allowed to criticize our own. We should be allowed to criticize every other single nation on the face of the planet. It should never be a hate crime to say that any government, any nation, any foreign entity can suck my balls. I should be able to say, suck my balls. That's freedom of speech. So you're right. And like I said, I am never going to be 100% with anybody else's beliefs. Definitely not a politician's. But, you know, I appreciate everything Ron DeSantis did when I was there, you know, keeping us from not being on lockdown forever. Original owner, dude, I love your cat. JD, there were 2 crusades historically. We need crusades 3.0. Damn. I think we just need to keep the crusades going until it's over, bro. Dominar said, a wise man gathers all the information on a subject before he gives his opinion on it. Keep being wise, JD. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I might not be the first person to report on it, but I guarantee you I'm going to be factually based. I'm going to be factually based. Damian Thompson said, my pastor, Ohio, in talks with pastors in Dearborn, Michigan, doing a mission trip up there for supplies in the future. Really worried about his safety. I'm middle right in 2A. I hope you get your rights back. This is your first super, dude. Thank you so much for doing your first super here, man. Yeah, so going to Dearborn, I think going to Dearborn, Michigan shouldn't be too crazy as long as you're not going there like Jake Lang did. Jake Lang clearly went there to while out, which is his constitutional right. I support his constitutional right. I don't agree with his approach, but I support his constitutional right to be able to do that, and nobody should harm anybody for that. Cam Higbee literally was just trying to interview people, and they assaulted him for that. As long as you don't go in with Qurans and bacon and try to burn their book and shit, which you should have the constitutional right to do. They can burn Bibles. They can burn American flags. But I don't think it's super fucking dangerous. Hopefully. But I'll be praying for your pastor, man. I think that's really cool that he's doing that. And being middle right is totally chill, bro. 2A is what it's all about, bro. Love and respect you, my man. T-Man said, in a situation like that, I'm riding with whoever has a good attitude, good heart, and the biggest fucking personal protective equipment and accompanying accessories in abundance. So did we ever check? Okay, so the people who said that they are not going to ride out, we had 96% of you said that you do not want to ride out with the liberal masses when it comes to a zombie apocalypse. Oh no, that's the celeb politics one. We already did the zombie apocalypse one. 96% of you do not care about celebrity politics. And I am in that 96%. I do not fucking care what you have to say on stage about politics. The Fenian, yeah, Cyrax did that to Blind Billy. The reason there's so much on him is thanks to niche community that follows him. You should look up Goblin Records, who archives Cyrax's streams, or Antimatter Morty for Cyrax content. Awesome. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you for giving me a lead on where to start doing some research on this creature. I don't even want to call him a dude, bro. He's a creature to me. Alan Blackwell, Greg from Black Conservative Perspective is based and spot on. Give him a visit. It's a great day, and I love this community. Well, I just found him today, and I feel like I've been lacking because I really like what this dude's talking about. But, you know, we've talked a lot about the negative shit. I want to show you something positive from the Grammys. I want to show you this was the only part of the Grammys I gave a fuck about. And I'm not objective because this dude is my homie. This dude is a brother to me. You know, I've in real life, him and his wife are family to me and Jax. But I want to hear Jelly Roll's speech because I personally thought this was amazing for him to get up and do this. This absolutely, instead of just going with the grain and doing what everybody else wants you to do, this goes against the grain of everybody standing there, sitting there in the Grammys. This upset the vast majority. Dude, too, man. His manager, John McNeely, really, really nice dude. You guys, really nice dude. He's also in charge of Little Peep's estate, which I thought was really cool. I don't know if we got any Little Peep fans in here, but I really love Little Peep. Yeah, this is him going against the grain instead of folding. And this is what he's been. So I want to just say that we've discovered through these Epstein files exactly how real a lot of the stuff in Pizzagate has been. You know, like with these celebrities and these elites, how much demonic worship and worship of Baal and Moloch and child sacrifice is really in the Epstein files. It's confirming that a lot of this shit is absolutely true that people have thought are conspiracy theories for the longest time. Most people, when they get big, I believe we can reasonably assume at this point, have made some sort of deal with a dark entity. Jelly got big when he really got serious in his relationship with God and Jesus Christ. So seeing him do this, that is a real clap right there. And there is light in that woman's eyes. You saw Sabrina Carpenter. Look at Reba McEntire looking like she got a whole ass spirit and soul behind her eyes, clapping right there. That's amazing. Jelly Roll is a preacher. So you guys might not know this. And maybe I shouldn't say this yet, but I'm going to say it. We're on this live stream. It's kind of intimate. We got less than 1,000 people in here. Jelly Roll is an ordained minister. And Jax and I are going to be renewing our vows because when me and Jax got married, I was on house arrest. And I didn't get to give my wife the wedding that she truly deserved. So we are going to be, at some point, when it works out for everybody's time schedule, we're going to be going out to Nashville. I'm going to rent us a chapel. And Jelly Roll has agreed, my friend Jason DeFord has agreed, him and Bunny, that Jelly will do our ceremony for us to get remarried and to renew our vows in a way that my wife deserves. She was willing to ride out with me to have a wedding in a park with 5 people there. So I'm going to give her the wedding that I believe she deserves. And I'm super stoked that my man Jason is going to be officiating that wedding. Now, I want to tell you, this man, a lot of us in recovery, why we love this man so much, this man right here, because he's one of us and he's passionate. But I want to tell you what he did when he went to go on Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live and his record label told him that they wanted him to play a specific song because it was the song that was hitting on the radio. And he said, I want to go out there and I want to start with this song Winning Streak. Now, this song Winning Streak is an anthem for people in recovery because it's about going to your first AA meeting and sitting there shaking, trying your hardest to get through an AA meeting because you're trying to change your life. It's a song that has inspired so many people to get clean. And he went against his record label and he went against Saturday Night Live to play that song. They told him they would take it away from him if he didn't play the song they wanted him to play. And he said, I'm not doing it unless I can start out with Winning Streak. And he went and did that shit. They said, okay, fine. I mean, if you're not going to do it without it, then okay, play that. And then the second song, play this. He literally put a huge opportunity on the line to do that for the recovery community and to put that song out there in a way that people would be exposed to. It's not even a single from that album, but he wanted to do that as a give back to the recovery community. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. Now, we're going to jump. We're a ways into this. YouTube might chill out on me a little bit. We're going to jump over here to X, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that I know they are trying really hard to not have me talking about. And some of this is a little sporadic, so please bear with me here, but we are going to be talking a little bit more about what's in these files. I literally, for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, I wanted to talk about the Ryan Ruth shooting and him being sentenced to life in prison plus 89 months. But I'm trying to hide from YouTube that I'm talking about what we're going to talk about right now, because I want to get the information out there. But at the same time, every time I've tried, they've suppressed my content. They've taken my content down. They're trying to not let this get out there. We are almost 2 hours into this live. So I want to get into this now, and hopefully this will stay up. Let's go right here.
People are talking about the Epstein files with George Bush and Bill Gates, but I'm still stuck on the jester. Now, jesters are one of the reasons that Epstein and these people got away with everything. Basically, we're looking at D, B, and C class celebrities. For this video, we can use Rainn Wilson and Chrissy Teigen as examples of this archetype. Allegedly. Rainn Wilson released disturbing tweets talking about harming children in 2009 and 2011. Now, you can look these disturbing tweets up. I don't want these tweets to hurt my honey butter's eyes, and I don't want that darkness overshadowing the beauty of my videos and my jacket, okay? It has a dragon on it. He also released a video in 2014 with Soul Pancake on YouTube of him doing really weird things, sexual things to a chicken, a stuffed animal chicken, and you can look that up if you want to see my drift. Chrissy Teigen is also known for having written really disturbing tweets about
the Chrissy Teigen tweets have disturbed me for years now. I'm bored. Really want to watch kids give birth. Where can I watch teens giving birth, MTV? I mean, that doesn't make sense, but I'll try.
Children, and you can look
seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail. We should accommodate that for her. She should be put in fucking jail. Chrissy Teigen should be put in jail for these tweets. And these are years old.
these up as well. They're awful. Here's how the court jester archetype works.
I'm going to jail over pizza, you guys. Fucking pizza. They were putting it directly in our faces. All this Pizzagate shit.
The freedom we, the populace, give the jesters to be disturbing is the degree to which parasitic people believe they can continue to get away with their dark parasitic antics. What if on some level the human populace's degree of compliance with celebrities being weird is correlated to how dark and weird these parasitic people continue to be? Jesters were actually used for psychological warfare. According to Wikipedia, the jesters would ride in front of troops to mock and distract the enemy. Jesters are tools, barometers, for measuring public opinion and outrage. If a jester puts out disturbing words and there is no public outcry, this signals to the monarchy that the public is indeed tolerant of disgusting behavior.
And this is also a way that they desensitize us to this shit. And yes, jesters aren't jesters anymore. Jesters are some of these crazy celebrities that are out here doing this. So, this is them desensitizing us, and they slide their imagery and their symbolism into things that are mainstream for children. Because the earlier they get you, the earlier they indoctrinate you, the easier of a chance they have with this.
Now, in archetypal context, the jester is seen as a warped reflection of the king. You'll notice his hat mimics the royal crown, and his scepter mirrors the scepter of the monarch. He is simply an archetypal outlet for the monarch to tell the public the truth about what the monarch really is. And have you noticed that Hollywood comedians are often overly perverse?
His entire job consisted of saying, "Take a look at this," which is what he used to say to Mary-Kate Olsen in her dressing room.
I grew up watching Full House, and when I saw who these adults were behind the scenes, Bob Saget, John Stamos, who was the other dude? The dude who had the relationship with, it's like rain on your wedding day. These people were all monsters and demons, bro. They were all monsters and demons. And I grew up as a child watching their show.
What if they are there to test the waters? How disturbing can these actors bend reality into being, to warp the minds of the populace to think that disturbing words are normal? But the wild thing about humans today is many people still think actors are just actors. They believe the idea that actors are contributing some sort of message to humankind, which is what actors were originally intended to do, is crazy. 15 years ago, Little Love, when Epstein Island was in operation, we had these celebrities tweeting extremely dark tweets. Most people just wanted to laugh and close their eyes. When people wish to be complacent, dissociated from the evils in front of them, this just symbolizes to the monarchy a degree of public consent. And keep in mind, Cutie Pie, that jesters can actually come in political form too.
Epstein was cool. There, I said it. Jeff Epstein, not a pedophile.
Yeah. So it's funny that Nick Fuentes was saying the same stuff that we've seen other people in mainstream media say. And they got slid for it, but there wasn't a huge public outcry. Brando Sheen said, I worked at the Bohemian Grove back in 2005. I saw a lot of players in the game. Crazy shit goes on there. Dude, I really want to deep dive into Bohemian Grove. I really, really do. I think it's really important that we understand that Epstein Island is not the only place that this shit was going on. And on top of that, it wasn't the only property that Epstein was operating on. We're all focused on the island, but not his ranch. You know that he owns a ranch, right? A ranch that he was building that was the size of a city.
Pedo thing, it's like, they're really pedophilia.
As long as they're funny and entertaining and a little bit obscure, they could always be a jester. I know what you're thinking. Could I be a jester too? Of course I could be. You should be weary of me and anyone you see on a screen, because that means you're thinking.
I think at this point, it's fair to question literally everyone. Literally everyone. Okay, we're going to get into that. Patriotic Blonde said, remember a few years back when Wayfair was selling plain generic cabinets on its website for $5,000 to $15,000 that you could get for $50 at Walmart? And they all shared names of missing children. Do you guys remember that? Am I the only one who was on that Wayfair shit a few years ago? When they were selling basic ass pieces of simple furniture, but they had the names of missing children and they were exponentially crazy expensive. So this is from one of Jeffrey Epstein's assistants, and it is a receipt of payment for $8,453 to Wayfair. That's pretty insane that this showed up in the Epstein files. That's one of Epstein's assistants buying an almost $8,500 piece of furniture from Wayfair. And if you're wondering, they're really going to hate this. They're really going to hate this. I hope we're far enough into this that they let me play this. If you're wondering who's behind all this shit, I want you to see this.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein was a spy?
I believe very strongly he was a spy, yes.
And who do you think he was working for?
The Israelis. I'm confident It was the Israelis.
Why?
Jeffrey Epstein is kind of the stereotypical example that they give you in training for what's called an access agent. This is a different kind of recruit. So, for example, if you're a foreign intelligence service and you want information, like close-in information from a former president, from the CEO of the biggest company in the world, from a member of the British royal family, you're not going to recruit these guys. You're not going to recruit Bill Clinton or Bill Gates or Prince Andrew. So you do the next best thing. You recruit somebody who has regular access to them. And that person that you recruit is going to need to make these people feel comfortable and appreciated. And so you give him plenty of money. So he has this house on an island, or he has the whole island. And maybe you bring in young girls, you get them in compromising positions, just in case you need to use what's called compromat, compromising pictures.
Compromising materials, you guys, whether that be pictures or videos. This is exactly what happened here. This dude is ex-CIA, and he's running down the playbook right here.
We know now that Jeffrey Epstein's house on the island had video cameras, hidden video cameras in literally every room, including the bathrooms. Why? Why would he care what was going on unless it was to use that information against people? As I said, only the Israelis and the Russians use extortion as a motivator.
So would they have made Jeffrey Epstein rich?
I don't believe that, by the way. I don't believe that only the Israelis and the Russians are going to be the ones who are using blackmail material. I believe that the U.S. does that as well. But somebody who is former CIA probably wouldn't tell you that.
Yeah.
In order to give him that access.
Yes.
How could they have done that?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, you do. I mean, governments are the only ones really that can launder money unfettered. And you can also do it through real estate, through fine art, and through horses. Those are the three easiest ways to launder money today. Fine art, real estate, and racehorses.
But presumably he would have spoken out at some point, no? He would have said something or?
No. But it would explain why he got a sweetheart deal in 2006. I mean, this is a guy that's been convicted of child sex crimes. And he gets 6 months of house arrest with an ankle bracelet?
And he got complete immunity and a non-disclosure agreement for the names. They completely kept the names secret for 4 other people for their crimes involved with his charges in Florida. And that was when he signed a deal with the FBI for continued cooperation. Up until then, he hadn't been working with any American intel agencies. But when he got busted in Florida to get that sweetheart deal for himself, which was the easiest deal they could possibly give him without making it look entirely obvious. It was still obvious, but they gave 4 other people blanket immunity for their crimes without ever disclosing their names or what crimes they were getting immunity for. And I want to tell you guys, that is not normal, nor is it okay.
We have mandatory minimums in this country. That's a 5-year mandatory minimum, first offense.
He definitely had some interesting power, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to make it really, really clear to you guys. The fact that we have seen the FBI document about him working with them is really damning, because he signed for continual cooperation with the FBI. And that's pretty much tells you he went on to work for American intelligence agencies and was probably a double spy at that point.
Well, more and more people are finally learning that America and most of the free world are being run by satanic pedophiles that eat children. But now it's time to realize how deep this rabbit hole goes. Here is an email where Jeffrey Epstein refers to human infant meat as tasting like cream cheese. An email where they discuss a woman performing an abortion in front of Jeffrey Epstein and Woody Allen. By the way, Woody Allen married his daughter, and they went to the same high school, him and Jeffrey Epstein. Just discussing how to rig trials, kill judges, evade foreign intelligence agencies, and hide from justice. Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video. This is from Benjamin Netanyahu, who was in China at the time it was sent and then met with Barack Obama.
Now, I want to say this. I find it definitely plausible that that was from Bibi, but it has not been established, and I think he's presenting this as a fact. And I don't think that there's any way for us to know exactly who this is from or to. We can't establish that it was Bibi, but Bibi was in China at the time that this email was sent.
At the date he says in this email. Jeffrey Epstein also introduced Melania to Donald Trump. Here's Jeffrey.
Which is actually not true. It was another dude that owned a modeling agency that worked in conjunction with Trump's modeling agency at the time that actually introduced Melania and Donald Trump. So as you can see, there is a lot of stuff in these files that is sketchy, but I think they included misinformation purposefully, and they're clearly redacting a lot of stuff. And in my opinion, they're also leaving out a lot of other stuff. The fact that Trump had his own modeling agency at the same time that this stuff with Epstein was going on, that he owned a teen beauty pageant, it's a bad fucking look, homie. His statements about walking into the changing rooms at these things is a bad fucking look.
Epstein and fucking Bill Gates discussing a pandemic simulation.
Yeah, there's a lot linking Epstein to COVID. There's a lot in there linking these two.
Also, it just came out that Epstein represents the Rothschilds. He says it like 2 or 3 times in these emails.
That's 100%, 100% in the files.
Oh, here's another one of those emails where he admits to working for the Rothschilds. Oh yeah, Pizzagate got confirmed in this, by the way. Also, Erica Kirk's ex-boyfriend Cabot, why did he have a pizza tattoo on his lip? That's a little weird. In what is one of the most evil sentences I have ever heard, Donald Trump is also accused of measuring children's genitalia with his fingers. Jeffrey Epstein and the ex-prime minister of Israel both mentioning that they definitely don't work for Mossad. Here's Jeffrey Epstein telling Bill Gates to drug his wife after Bill Gates unknowingly gave his wife an STD he got from the sex slaves him and Jeffrey Epstein were participating with.
So in there, what's insinuated is that Jeff and Bill were doing bad diddly shit, that Bill Gates got an STD and gave it to his wife. And he hit up Epstein and asked him, hey man, I need some antibiotics and I don't want to go to the doctor because it can't be on record and my wife can't find out. Melinda, I almost said Melania. Melinda Gates can't find out, but I need some for her too because I'm going to dose her so she doesn't know that I gave her an STD. And so have you guys heard the way that she talks about Bill after the divorce? Like, it's clear that she signed an NDA for a lot of this stuff to be able to get the settlement that she got. And she's given away so much of the money. It's like she doesn't want it. She hates him and she doesn't want the money. She's given so much of it away. It's absolutely insane.
This is kind of a long one, but that bottom highlighted part mentions how Clarence Thomas, a sitting U.S. Court Supreme Justice, raped a child. Peter Thiel and Jeffrey Epstein both discussing Bitcoin. Funnily enough, this came out in the last file leak, but Jeffrey Epstein had been controlling Bitcoin for a long, long time, since at least 2015.
And there's been a lot of people speculating that Bitcoin is going to crash because of who was involved in its creation. And this is what they've been talking about for a while now.
There were also a couple of things that weren't in the files that I wanted to make extremely clear. Jeffrey Epstein caused the 2008 economic crisis with his company Liquid Funding. Edward Morse was the head economist of Lehman Brothers at the time. He is a close associate of Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell's sister Christine sold the FBI the algorithm they used to sort everybody's information after the Patriot Act. This is what caused Edward Snowden to defect. This was in the files, and I just want to say, this makes me so fucking angry. There is a human child in between those two fucking chickens. A human infant.
I did a video on this and YouTube wouldn't let me put it up. I did a video on this and YouTube would not let me put it up. I was censored completely on being able to release a video about this. So I'm hoping that they don't take this down. Who knows? They very well might.
The evil that is hidden in the files. And the problem is every single person in power is implicated in some way or fashion. There are almost no innocents in this equation. There are either people who proactively attack kids or people who sat there and let it happen. And both sides deserve to be dragged into the street and shot.
So, as you can see, some of this stuff is exactly why I buried this at the back end of the live. Because they're definitely not going to want a lot of this getting out. I don't want to end this on a bad note. I know a lot of us, this stuff is hard on our mental health. A lot of us here know about the Captain Jerry situation. Captain Jerry getting attacked by Spider Mike. Captain Jerry is an elderly, disabled, 30-year U.S. veteran, well, 40-year U.S. veteran, who was attacked and got a concussion and a broken rib at the hands of a 400-pound Antifa enforcer retard. And this, I thought this was delightful. I really enjoyed this. So let's peep this out.
Hello, folks. It's great to be the new sheriff of Portland and here for our first press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, last night we arrested this fat bastard, Spider Mike. Ugh, what a pathetic scumbag. This filthy pile of poopy decided he wanted to be a tough guy with a disabled veteran on a mobility scooter. We actually had to use 4 sets of handcuffs linked together. In all the years I've been sheriff, that has never happened. Let me tell you, folks, that is one stinky, dirty bastard. I don't think he's been able to wipe his ass in about 14 years. I mean, folks, I'll be honest. This whole building smells like ass now. Attacking a disabled vet is horrible crime, don't get me wrong. But the real crime here is all this stink. It's really not okay. I mean, damn it, dude, wash your dirty ass. What in the hell? You know how many tax dollars it's going to cost the city to fumigate this building? Son of a bitch. I'm sorry, folks, it's got me all messed up. I'm pretty sure I can taste the stank. Look, Portland, I'm glad I'm here, but this weird shit ain't cutting it. Look, I shouldn't have to say this, but I ain't Grady Judd. I'm just some silly bastard's imagination. Weirdo.
So I know a lot of people hate AI slop. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And I wanted to end us off on a less dark note than the stuff that we just heard. I will be going into and trying to release more deep dives on the things that I have found on the files. But I literally had to edit out dude's name from a video to get YouTube to let me release it. So please bear with me as I try to get this shit out, man. I want to give my full opinion. I might have to do a video where I talk in code and I don't put any of the evidence on the screen because that's how weird social media platforms are being about this. Blazed said, Asmongold noticed Ellen DeGeneres had a set similar to Epstein's Island. The link to Pizzagate and Epstein, bizarre and disgusting AF. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I believe that Ellen DeGeneres is a pee-pee toucher, bro. I think she's a kindergarten commando. I think that she is 100% a diddler, bro. A sandbox extraction specialist. Paladin Dig, what did I miss? Just got off work, bro. You missed over 2 hours of stuff, buddy. I love you, but I would probably go back and watch it because we've been yapping for like almost 2.5 hours now, brother. 45 said, I had no idea Jelly Roll was a pastor. That is so cool. He absolutely is, man. Jason is a good dude. Blaze said, holy shit, I'm glad to hear you are giving her the wedding she deserves. Where do we send wedding gifts? Well, we're still very much not even in the planning stage yet, brother. So I would hold off on that. I appreciate you so much, though. Captain Squatch, dude is going to be a pincushion for big ones when he reaches prison. He's going to definitely have to be in PC. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Alex Jones on your show. I think Alex Jones has a bigger show. He'd probably want me to come on his. Sailor Cat, Paranormal Files on YouTube. They covered the Grove. Yeah, Paranormal Files actually really good dude, man. Really good dude, and I really dig his content. He's a really cool dude, man. Jason Waterhouse said, that is what the pictures of missing kids were on milk cartons back in the day. It was advertising merchandise, bro. Wouldn't that be super disgusting? Wouldn't that just be crazy? And like, honestly, I don't just dismiss anything as conspiracy theories anymore because the truth has turned out to be so much more disturbing and wild than the conspiracy theories. Zach the Sticks, he was either truly caught or no longer useful. Well, I think there's, and I'm going to be talking about this in my breakdown on the Epstein files. I don't believe that he's dead. I believe that there's decent amounts of evidence to say that they removed him from that facility in New York. Lynch had said, wow, kind of like that big Bohemian Grove footage Mr. Jones got long ago. Evil running the world, definitely incomplete. It's probably being tricked out. Yeah, so, I mean, keep in mind that, you know, they literally have a giant owl effigy there for Moloch, which is pretty crazy, man. Kevin Poprocks, Alex Jones thinking E-Scum is still alive. Technically, he didn't K himself. If it's true, Wood Chipper 2028. And yeah, I think that Alex Jones is probably actually onto something there, bro. Yo, Khadija, had to leave for a second, came back. Love you, sis. So glad you came back. You've been riding out with this whole live. We love you. Damien said, can I get a wood chipper? Transer and Lucy said, the wood chipper doesn't discriminate. It absolutely does not. It does not care about your color. It doesn't care about your race, your religious beliefs. It doesn't care about your political affiliations. The wood chipper is for everybody. It's rated E for everybody who hurts kids. O'Sheila Shire. You should check on my other post. Super Chat is censoring me. The group I mentioned meets once a month and still exists in all 50 states. Let's see. There is a lot of chats, bro. Having trouble finding that in this. Sorry about that, fam. Sorry about that. Let's see. Is it? No, it's not attached to that super either. I apologize. There's a lot of chats and it goes fast. Captain Squatch, I was going to say Alex Jones got all sorts of information on Bohemian Grove. I'm going to be looking into what Alex Jones has released on that. I'm also going to be looking into, I really like the Paranormal Files. I would really like to look into what he has on this. If you're not following the Paranormal Files, he does an incredible job, you guys. All right, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate each and every one of y'all hanging out with us today. Thank you for bearing with us while we talked about some other stuff to get to this stuff. I know when I'm right over the target because that's when they're censoring me. That's when they're really trying to keep me from saying what I want to say. And there's always a reason for that. So thank you for bearing with me while I dig through all this stuff. I love each and every one of you. And until the next one, be good or be good at it.